nature is healing and everything is going back to normal, including this. Oh boy, as of course the criminal Biden administration family members and associates have now officially been given a lot of pardons, a very peculiar pardon, especially when it comes to the year 2014 that we're going to be examining in this particular video, doing a larger deep dive into what could be potentially connected to the Ukrainian BIOLAB facilities that the corporate media told you didn't exist. Lots of things to go on, especially with Dr. Fauci, who is also off the hook for all of the lies and other egregious activities that he conducted against the American people and the people of the world. As in the making of today's video, we just got a community guideline strike on our YouTube channel for playing the inauguration as everyone else was playing the inauguration, as we just lost our appeal, right? Just a couple seconds ago. As of course, everyone was doing this. Every other independent media organization out there was live with the same stream from C-SPAN. We were as well, but we got hit here, as of course there looks like there is more targeted censorship of independent media that is still happening here. That is very vast, that is very severe, and that's why we're going to ask you guys to sign up on enoughofcensorship.com. The link is down in the description below. It's a free email newsletter. We're going to be doing videos just for people of this email list, not on YouTube, but just for people on our email list that are only going to get these exclusive videos in the future just by signing up to our email list, which is now more important than ever, as it looks like we are entering a new kind of confusing era of censorship that truly is just, egregious. I was having such a good live stream. So many people were watching. I was having so much fun talking to everyone, commentating, and YouTube's just like, nope, they deleted it, and they now have negatively affected my channel, where the algorithm will now kind of be less favorable to us. As of course, that's no surprise here as we cover a lot of the big news that a lot of alternative media usually doesn't like to talk about, that is dealing with deeper down the rabbit hole issues that very few people decide to wander down into. As of course, just moments ago, Biden, right before officially stepping down as the 46th president of the United States, issued a blanket pardon for General Milley, Dr. Fauci, and a lot of his members of his immediate and close family. This as the entire J6 witch hunt crew also has been given a blanket pardon here, as a lot of people were sick of the corruption, sick of the lobbyists and special interest groups hijacking our government for their own personal benefit, as Joe Biden has declared many times over that no one is above the law except for the criminal crime organization under his wings, that now will not be facing any kind of accountability, any kind of scrutiny for their larger, egregious, aggressive actions, because Joe Biden has just decreed that they no longer will be held accountable for it. A huge criminal action by the criminal Biden family. As it's fair to assume, these people have a lot of skeletons in their closet, and they're afraid of actually being held accountable for their larger, egregious actions. As 10 days ago, Joe Biden declared this.
On pardons, have you ruled out a pardon for yourself or any other additional members of the family?
For myself?
Yes, sir.
Well, what did I pardon myself for?
That's what I'm asking.
No, I have no contemplation of pardoning myself for anything. I didn't do anything wrong.
Mr. President, would you...
As Joe Biden even had the audacity to criticize Donald Trump's potential pardons, as of course he came out and officially declared, you will not see me do that.
President Trump is reportedly considering a wave of preemptive pardons. Does this concern you? All these preemptive pardons?
Well, it concerns me in terms of what kind of precedent it sets and how the rest of the world looks at us as a nation of laws and justice. You're not going to see in our administration that kind of approach to pardons. Nor are you going to see in our administration the approach to making policy by tweets. It's just going to be a totally different way in which we approach it.
Yeah, Pez, of course, what did you expect from criminals? They're also liars, as they lied to the American public, as a lot of Democrats have talked about how presidential pardons, especially preemptive ones that were just issued, are a, quote, gross abuse of presidential authority and power, as said by Chuck Schumer, who now, of course, is very silent on these latest pardons that, of course, benefit a lot of the inner circle, establishment, intel-connected agency folks that should have been held accountable for their larger actions. Dr. Fauci literally had all of his fingerprints on helping start up this larger gain-of-function research through EcoHealth Alliance, through Peter Daszak. He has all of the hallmarkers of lying every step of the way here, before, during, and after this major incident, going on to the congressional record, lying under oath to the American people, as he could have faced more than 5 years in jail, but now won't face anything because he was pardoned. We told you these pardons were happening, and they just show you how our system has been ruled by criminals. As, of course, the United States had to even suspend EcoHealth Alliance and Peter Daszak, as more and more evidence was found, specifically by members of Congress, showing their wrongdoing in setting up this larger scenario that created this mass global health crisis, as even the HHS banned EcoHealth Alliance from receiving funding. This as new evidence emerged that they were hiding, that they were lying about, that big tech social media organizations were censoring, that specifically detailed, they have their fingerprints all over this. These are the responsible parties here. These are the individuals committing a lot of these larger egregious actions that the American people wanted accountability for, and sadly will now never get. As, of course, now there also looks like there could be a larger connection to the 25-30 funded biolabs in Ukraine that Tulsi Gabbard previously talked about, as these pardons, specifically for Milley and Fauci, are for 14 years ago, going back to 2014, right on the eve of the Maidan revolution that changed the seat of power in Ukraine, that made it more favorable towards the West. What did the West do? Well, according to a lot of sources and Tulsi Gabbard and Tucker Carlson, well, they just set up biolab facilities, creating and weaponizing some of the worst pathogens and diseases on the face of this earth.
In this country understand is that the Ukrainian military is selling about half of the arms they get from the United States into international black markets, and they're winding up in some cases with the drug cartels in Latin America. That's a fact. Okay, it's a fact, and you can buy them. And I spoke to someone who did buy some, actually, so I know this is a fact, and they're bragging about it. So they're selling conventional weapons, including weapon systems that are very dangerous and very destabilizing, that would make commercial air travel impossible, for example. And so what are they doing with the pathogens in those biolabs? And does the Biden administration have a manifest? Do they know exactly what's in those labs? And will they turn it over to the Trump administration so we can keep track of these things? And the answer is no, actually. The answer is no, I know this.
Wow.
So that's like the scariest thing that's ever happened. I think the Ukraine war has the potential to destabilize the world more than anything that's happened in my lifetime. What the hell? So that's why I'm saying this right now, because I hope this is widely disseminated, because I think it's like the scariest thing I've heard in a long, long time.
Yep, as of course these preemptive pardons do kind of shed a light on these larger kind of egregious, aggressive measures being made by mad scientists that are literally engineering and creating bioweapons that are meant to be used against humanity, weaponizing viruses and diseases out there to inflict maximum damage and harm against civilian populations. We're talking about the highest level of criminality here that could exterminate potentially the world many times over. As of course, another person that was pardoned here was General Milley, that of course had back-channeling messages to China, that also was pardoned. As of course, a lot of people are now questioning his larger involvement in all of this.
Just say, did you or did you not tell him that if we were going to attack, you would let him know?
As part of that conversation, I said, General Lee, there's not going to be a war, there's not going to be an attack between great powers. And if there was, the tensions would build up. There'd be calls going back and forth from all kinds of senior officials. I said, hell, General Lee, I'll probably give you a call, but we're not going to attack you. Trust me, we're not going to attack you. These are two great powers, and I am doing my best to transmit the president's intent, President Trump's intent, to ensure that the American people are protected from an incident that could escalate.
I understand your intent, but I think you articulating that you would tell him, you would give him a call, I think is worthy of your resignation. I just think that's against our country, that you would give our number one adversary that information and
this as Donald Trump looked pissed about this, and after addressing everyone at the inauguration, he gave a speech to some of his supporters, and then he had this to say about this larger pardon, which clearly he's not very happy about.
But I was really going to talk about the
the level of, what's going on? Why are we doing this? Why are we trying to help a guy like Milley? Why are we doing Milley? He was pardoned. What he said, terrible what he said. Why are we helping some of the people? Why are we helping Liz Cheney? I mean, Liz Cheney is a disaster. She's a crying lunatic and crying Adam Kinzinger. He's a super crying. I never saw the guy not crying. He's always crying.
Yep, as of course, there won't be any justice for this larger, ever so egregious action that has happened against a lot of the J6ers. As again, these are a lot of the people that have committed some of the biggest actions against the American people. Again, now we're also understanding why Hunter Biden was also pardoned ever since January 1st, 2014. As also specifically, that's when Fauci's pardon also begins. As people are highlighting, this was the larger Obama CIA State Department takeover of Ukraine that then began a lot of this gain-of-function research, which some people are speculating created this larger global sickness that involved the entire world in 2020. Now, there's still a lot of individuals who haven't been pardoned here, as of course a lot of people are expecting some retribution by the future president of the United States that declared that there's only two genders. He's going to declare that he's going to be ending the DEI, stopping the wars, making sure new ones don't start, and more importantly, also providing back pay for all the people that were discriminated against for the larger kind of egregious health practices that were instituted against the American people. Now, at any moment, Donald Trump is going to be doing a live public event where he is going to be signing a lot of these executive orders as I'm keeping a close eye on a lot of the bigger agenda here. Again, we were having such a great live stream. We can't do that. I don't think we can return live. I'm still working out all the details. I'm still trying to understand what's going on here. My head's spinning. Again, sign up on our email list, enoughofcensorship.com. The link is in the description. Click on it right now. Put in your email. And then when you do, go to that actual email account. Check for that email. It's probably going to be in your spam. I don't know why, but again, Google really doesn't like us, especially if you have a Gmail account. Go to that spam account. Click that email and say, yes, I want to enroll in this email, and no, this is not spam. When you do that, you actually give us a fair chance to actually reach people out there. Let's do it before it's too late, because I believe that there could be a lot of other suspicious activities and behaviors coming up soon that largely will try to defeat people who bring towards the light a lot of good, important information that a lot of powerful people don't want to see. We're living in crazy times. Those times will only get crazier. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys, and this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on youtube.com/wearechange.